Hello, everybody. Welcome to Drip and Conversation, where we do not skirt around the dirt. We keep it 100, and we talk about drip, and we have conversation as relates to life skills. We relate to life strengths and hopes and goals. But not only that, drip and conversation. Drip is not only about the outward appearance, but it's about the inward appearance. Our integrity, our commitment, our love, our past, our future, where we're going is all about drip. I'm your host, Bishop O's, and
I'm Paul Weinstock.
Hey, listen, we have an amazing guest today. I'm telling you, he's a legendary comedian. He's an author. He's a husband. He's one of the funniest guys. Well, he would say he is the funniest guy on the planet.
Tell the truth.
And none other than my brother, Michael Colyah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me
Welcome,
on the show,
man.
Jim.
Welcome.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I brought the chicken. Don't worry.
Okay.
So thank you for inviting me.
Yes. So one of the questions that we want to talk about is addiction.
Okay.
We all suffer addiction. And I know on our way here, we actually talked about a word of the day. So Can you talk about any addictions that you may have overcome or you had trials with?
I'm an addict myself. I think once you're an addict, you're always an addict. I'm just not a practicing addict. And I did crack cocaine for 23 years, and as of March 1st, I have 17 years of pure sobriety.
Wow.
So I danced a long time in that environment, you know.
Well, I want to stop and congratulate right there first.
Yeah.
First of all,
thank you.
17 years.
Yeah.
That's not
Congratulations.
It's everything, man. You know, I always like to talk about the gifts of sobriety, and I think that other people who are addicted, one of the ways to get away from that addiction is think about the gifts that come from it. Like everything I have are the gifts of sobriety now. And I'm sitting smack dab in the middle of my dream. I'm doing everything I've ever wanted to do, and I'm in love with the most incredible woman on the planet. All of those things are gifts of sobriety, things that I couldn't have if I was still getting high. If I was still getting high, I wouldn't have the opportunity. If I got there, I would have messed it up. You know, I wouldn't have the chance to do it the proper way or even know how to. But with that addiction gone, and of course it's replaced by good old God. And when God is in the center of everything you're doing, nobody can stop you. You're an alchemist. It's like magical. I mean, I manifest so great right now. I could think I want something, and somebody will come knock on the door because I'm very clear on who I am and where I am now. And I guess when I was an addict, I didn't have balance. And that's what it generally is when we're not happy, is that our balance is off. We're not doing the things that we know is proper with our soul, our spirits. And when we're doing what's that internal work, because happiness is an inside job, and when we do the internal work, everything outside lines up and conforms to it, you know, but you can't heal anything or move anything until you heal and move yourself, the within. How do you see your life? You know, I tell people all the time, if you want to change your life, you got to change your mind. You got to change the way you're thinking. You know, if you're doing that stinking thinking, you're going to keep on getting the same bad results. But if you're thinking about the light and the joy and the energy that you can bring because you're magical, because you're connected to God, then life starts becoming brighter. And hopefully we do what we're here to do, which is to unfold into our greater selves, to find out who we are and why we should be here. What is our mission? What are we here to do? Because we're here to do something. And every one of us has an assignment that only we can do. If that thing doesn't get done by us, it won't get done at all. So it's sort of like our mission to figure out what it is, what is my purpose, what am I supposed to be doing here, and then how do I do it the best possible way.
I know that you have accomplished many things with acting and, of course, you're a comedian. But we want to know a little bit how it was growing up as a child. How was it like in your life?
Well, you know, I had wonderful parents, and I feel spoiled, first of all, because nowadays so many people don't have both parents. And I had both of my parents. I mean, my dad transcended when I was 12, but by then, my father had already taught me and my big brothers everything we needed to know to survive, which I think it should be the primary mission and the job of any parent, is to prepare their children to be able to handle life in times of their absence. You know, so by the time my dad transcended, shoot, I know how to iron, I know how to do laundry, I know how to clean the house, to make beds, I know how to think, I know how to read and how to communicate with people and how to be nice to people. I was mentioning a book to you earlier, sir, called Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. I love that book because it's basic. Everything we really need to know, we learned in kindergarten. You're supposed to look both ways before you cross the street. You should walk with somebody for safety. If someone does anything for you, you say thank you. If you make a mistake, you say, I'm sorry. These are the basic things. And if we know those basics, it makes life easy if we actually follow them. That's the thing. If you follow them, it's like, so, you know, I write books as well, and I have a new children's book, and I'm not going here to sell the book, though the book is for sale. No, but we're talking about the topic of doing good. For goodness sake. So this I have a book called Little Bobby White, which I see my monitor there. I'm going to hold that for 1 second. It's called Little Bobby White, although the kids are black. And I did that on purpose because it's not about the color. In fact, the two kids, one is black and one is Hispanic, because it's not about the color, it's about the story. And it's a story of a kid who always wins because he always chooses to do the right thing. And that's the lesson I'm saying that we don't teach our kids anymore. We don't teach our kids to do good for goodness sake. Matter of fact, we don't teach them very much of anything. We give them a device and we sit them in a corner, then we come back 8 years later and don't know why they're calling us out of our names, while they're rolling a joint on the bed with a pistol sitting next to them. Because we forget that it's not our job. It's not our jobs to be their friends. That's a good thing if it happens. It's fabulous, you know. But our job is to be their parent and to raise young adults. But right now, instead of raising young adults, we're letting children raise each other. That's why the boys walking around with pants hanging off and somebody has bumped their head and told them that look good, it don't look good. I'm just telling you, if you're a youth, it don't look good. I'm 68 and I'm talking to you as your elder. I'm not here trying to talk down to nobody, but as your elder, I'm saying, it looked like hell. It's horrible. You look terrible. Your drawers ain't even cute. You know, I mean, I see they had some Gucci drawers or something, but just what they did do is pull it. In fact, I'm thinking about doing an initiative, a new initiative. Wear a belt initiative. I'm gonna just go out to all the thrift stores and buy up all the belts, 25 cents, 50 cents, right? I'm gonna
we're so into it.
Y'all so into it. And I'm gonna drape them belts on my arm. I'm gonna get a 9mm and I'm gonna walk through the neighborhood. And if your pants hanging off your behind, I'm gonna offer you a belt. If you take one, right on. If not, pow, 2 times in the forehead. I think we take out 3-4 people, everybody be wearing the belt buckle up to the nipples. But I'm just saying, we're forgetting our responsibility to guide them and to teach them. So when my father transcended at 12, it broke my heart. But I also knew that I knew what to do. I knew how to take care of myself, how to sell, how to hustle. I hustled since I was 7. I would sell. I would go across the street from the projects because I grew up in Chicago, Robert Teller Homes, 4352 South State, apartment 909. And so in apartments, you know, most people, the little kids aren't supposed to leave the building because you have to be watched by somebody. But my big brother would take me across the street to the store. So I would buy the 2 for penny candies. Are y'all old enough to remember 2 for penny candy? Okay, I bought 2. So some was even 3 for penny candies, which you know that mean I doubled up on my profit, right? And I would sell those for a penny, you know. So if I got the 3 for penny, I already made 2-cent profit on every sale. So I would get the cookies. I would sell cookies. I would get bags of chips. So if you bought a box of chips, you had like 36 packages, but 20 of them really is what it cost you to buy it. The rest was profit. So I would set up a little store, apartment 909, with a box turned upside down at our house, at our apartment. And kids from all in the building would come to our house because they know they can get candy and cookies and purchase them, and they didn't have to leave the building. So their mama let them go up to, Mama, can I go to 909? Can I go up? Right, so I just thought as a kid, I just had this flair for hustling. Are y'all old enough to remember the Columbia Record Club?
No.
Columbia Record Club, where you could get 11 albums for 11 cents. Y'all don't remember that?
No, that's something.
Oh my God!
Educated. That's so now.
No, I mean it went on forever, and it may in some places they still do it. And you're talking the 60s. So because I was born in 1957, and so it was like 68, 69, right in there when I would get the albums. 11 albums for 11 cents. I never paid a cent because it was on a card when it falls out of magazine. So I would send the paper I'd check off the little albums, right?
Yeah.
They would send me 11 albums. Instead of paying them, I'd order 11 more. This time I changed my name. So first it was Michael Colyah, there was Michael Keith, there was Keith Michaels, there was Keith Colyah, there was Colyah Michael. I did about 9 times before they caught on that they were sending all these records to the same house and cut me off. But my mom would then take me to work, to school, and I would sell those same albums for $3 to the school teacher. So I would get Dionne Warwick and Diana Ross and the Temptations. I would have all these albums they would have to pay $5 or $6 for. I sell them to them for $3, and I got them for free, 11 at a time. So I was stealing. Okay, I was stealing. Let's be clear on that. I'm not trying to tell you to do the wrong thing.
A criminal at a young age.
But I was just saying that I was a criminal at a young age. But or should I say a businessman?
Okay, businessman. We'll use that title.
You know, because we have a guy running this country who's stealing all day long, and he keeps just calling it business. So, but I learned that, and I think as parents, we're supposed to teach our kids right away the basic things to make it if something happens to us, you know. And then my mom is everything. So when my dad transcended, my mom continued to raise us, me and my 4 big brothers, and you know, she was just a great individual. She was so awesome that she gave us the room to be ourselves.
Let me ask you a question.
You know,
Is there one incident that you can point to once you became an adult that kind of shaped you or pointed you to who you are today? One incident that you can remember that kind of like put the light bulb on, or a bumping head experience, whether or not it's been an addiction or something that you can point to?
I don't know. You know, I have always been on a path to find myself through my art, through my craft, which is I've always been a comedian. I've always been funny. I mean, in grade school I was funny, and like I mentioned, my mother, my fabulous mother, she encouraged whatever we did. So she, you know, so when I would do shows when I was first starting, I would do little comedy shows. Wouldn't nobody come but 8 or 9 people.
How old were you when you had your first comedy show?
I was an old man. I was like 27.
27.
You know, I mean, because we started out, we was doing, first I did theater. So I did all the plays in my high school. So my mom would come to that. But along that time, we started figuring out we can go to little clubs and stuff. I went away to the military, to be military police. And even as military police, I was involved in theater. I was bringing plays together while I was in the military. So when I came back, I started doing theater again, but my friends was like, "You funny, why don't you try comedy?" And there was this dude named Eddie Murphy. He is still everything. This is
real
like
Eddie Murphy.
The real Eddie Murphy. Yeah, in '84, he was everything, brother. And he's still here. He was 23 years old at that time, around 23. And he had already done 48 Hours, Trading Places, in the first Beverly Hills Cops. And he had saved Saturday Night Live. They're about to close their doors.
Right.
They got him as a star. It saved the show. And he had a concert called Raw that was the biggest concert anywhere. And I was watching him. It was like 1984. And I was like, this dude is filthy rich. And he did all that telling jokes, which I've been funny my whole life.
Yeah.
I didn't know people was gonna pay me like that. I said, I need to get out the mustard and catch up.
Yeah.
So I went and got some Red Fox albums, and I would stand in my mama's basement in the mirror and play these albums over and over and say the jokes until I could say them like I had written them.
Yeah.
You know, I could see how I looked when I told them. I do my mirror work, and I got those jokes down. Then I would go around doing these little comedy shows, trying to do comedy, but the money happened when I went to street performance. You know, I mean, I started in a club. I went into a club that didn't have comedy or anything else. It was just a bar. I mean, in the hood, it was one of them bars where they had soul food in the back. They had people in the back playing spades and playing cards. In the front, they had a little stage. They may have somebody sing a little, but mostly it was just drinking. And they had a guy come in trying to do comedy, and he was terrible. And the club was called the Knotty Pine, 115th and Halstead in Chicago. And this guy was terrible. And I asked the owner, can I do some comedy? And he said, man, this guy is fabulous. He's been everywhere. He even performed in Milwaukee.
Right.
So I was like, okay. I said, but people are leaving because he ain't funny.
Right.
And you here to sell drinks. If I go for a few minutes, if you love me, give me some money.
Give me a try, huh?
Yeah, I said, I'll do 10 minutes. Yeah. If you love me, I didn't say like me. I said, if you love me, give me $15.
Right.
If you don't love me, don't give me anything.
Yes.
And that way you win, because the audience is still gonna have fun watching me fail.
Yeah.
While they're
Yes.
drinking, they
Yes.
giggling and watching me bomb like the Hindenburg, crashing and burning. But he said, well, okay, I'm gonna give you a shot. And I went up and did Red Fox jokes, because that's what I had been learning.
Yeah.
And when I tell you I killed,
Yeah.
I did like 3 jokes. I mean, these people standing up, I didn't realize I could do that.
Yeah.
But what really changed my life, because you're talking about the life-changing moment, is that the owner then took me to breakfast. It's like 6 in the morning. And I had never heard of sunny side up eggs called 2 eggs looking at you. He said, give me 2 pork chops, 2 eggs looking at you, and a biscuit. And instead of giving me $15, he gave me $30.
Okay.
So it taught me something on that spot.
Yeah.
That if you do the work and you do it really well,
Yeah.
it will increase your wealth. You'll get more than what you asked for. So I would have been happy with $15,
Yes.
but I got $30 and a breakfast.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I got to do this. So I would do that at 10 clubs around the city. I go into bars that got slow nights.
Yes.
It's Tuesday, and ain't nobody in there.
Yeah.
You know, 9 people, 8 people. I say the same, give me $15.
Yes.
And everybody would always give me 30.
So when
I
did
would
your
make-
addiction start? Did it start before the comedian, or that was afterwards?
I think they sort of intertwined, because I was smoking weed in high school, but I had discovered cocaine probably before I even did the clubs. You know, because for a while I used to sell cocaine. I would sell freebase. I would sell that good shit. I would sell freebase. And if you were selling freebase, you didn't need but 5 customers. Because, you know, they would come to my house and just hand me the whole check. And then I let them just sit there till it was gone, right? But sometimes you fall into your own product. So it was looking so good to me. I said, well, let me try it. You know, next thing you know, I was doing it too. And that's where you lose the money. That's when you get all, you know, pulled into it. And then we went from that to crack, because it was fast.
Yeah.
Crack was fast money. You get that, you multiply your money, the whole thing. And one day I took this rock and I said, I wonder what happened if I dropped that on a hot piece of glass. Well, anyway, 23 years later, I was digging my way out of that. But yeah, so back then I was, you know, I started out selling weed, then I did freebase, I was selling that. But I was always still a comedian and an actor. I wasn't about trying to be in the business of being a salesperson, but I was trying to get an easy hustle. That's what that was for me. But I pretty much was away from it until I came to California. And I was around addicts all the time. I was around crackheads all the time, and I had too much money. You know, I think Robin Williams is the one that said, cocaine is God's way of saying you're making too much damn money. You know, and so I had all this money. I would go to Venice Beach and do 5 shows every Saturday and Sunday, and I would leave with a sack of money. And I didn't owe nobody nothing.
Yes.
And here come the man with a rock. I was like, okay, party time. You know, I find myself in dirty motels with people I generally wouldn't talk to on the street. And it was all about the pursuit of a high. The pursuit of that next high. The only thing about cocaine, especially crack cocaine, is you have that one blast, and then you spend the rest of your life trying to find that blast again. You never see that blast again.
So how did you stop?
By God, talking to God. That God was the whole answer for me. I would ask God to make me ill if I went around drugs. I get to the point where I couldn't go to Washington Boulevard in Los Angeles, because that's where the dope was. From Washington, from La Brea to about Fairfax, you could drive up and down the street and find what you wanted, right? I could not even drive down the street because my stomach would churn. I get what they call cocaine gas. My stomach would start churning. I'd be wanting to fart. I mean, it was like, it was crazy. So God would make me ill if I came near the people, places and things. And when we become sober, we know you got to stay away from the people, places and things that have that drug that you used to desire, that you no longer desire. You know, the whole point is to no longer desire anything except the love of God. And when you got God in it, you can change anything. And so that's what I would go by.
Let me ask you this question, then we're going to change it a little bit.
Okay.
I lost my mom.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Okay, there we
you
go.
You ain't gonna talk about your mama while the chicken squawk.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. You lost your mom.
I lost my mom in 2016.
Okay.
And she inspired me to do a lot of positive things. And I fell astray from it because I thought I was grown and thought I knew everything, thought I was a nickel slick and a dime fast, and I got into the drug business. However, my mom was my everything. And can you touch on a little bit how your mom played a very important role in your life and inspired you?
Well, so much so, I'm currently doing a one-man play. I'm doing a one-man play in 100 cities. It's called Michael Colyah's Mama. See if you can get that close. It's called Michael Colyah's Mama. And if you like your mama, oh, you're going to love this play. So it's a 90-minute play, and I play 17 characters. So I play my mama and my daddy, all four of my big brothers, me at 4 different ages, the alcoholics, crackheads, and church mothers that ran my community. And I tell the story that I'm telling you. I tell my story about addiction. My mother was always there for me. But she never spoke to me about my addiction. I wasn't such an addict that I would ever do anything around my mother. My mother never saw me high or anything like that. But I'm sure she knew. Your mom always knows. Let me just tell you that. Your mom always knows. Like, what you think? You think you slick. But my mom knew. But she always supported all of us because addiction is in my family. We come through addiction. My dad was a professional alcoholic. He drank a 5th of booze a day and smoked 3.5 packs of Pall Mall. You know Pall Mall? Is it Pall Mall or Pall Mall? Pall Mall was like smoking wood, and it didn't have no filter on it, right?
That's right.
And so my father was an alcoholic, and it's in my family. I have a brother who did heroin for 54 years, who just kicked 18 months ago. He's been sober now for 18 months, and we never thought he was gonna get off heroin. My favorite brother is a crackhead. Well, he was like me. That's probably why he's my favorite. We smoked crack together, and he's beautiful, just beautiful people. All of them have gotten out of it now. Even one of my brothers who drinks to an extent that he wouldn't understand or believe it, but he would fall in the category of being an alcoholic because he could drink 5 Long Island iced teas. I don't know how you could drink 2 Long Island iced teas without laying on the floor. So we come from an addictive family, and so I have an addictive personality, and we need to know that in our recovery. But my mother was there for all of us, and even my brother in doing his addiction, that we could see my mother was supportive, always supportive of whatever we did. Like I said, when I would do clubs, it'd be 8 people, 9 people. My mother come in there and laugh. She'd laugh over there, then she'd go sit over there and laugh. Then she'd go sit over there and laugh. And she'd make the room feel like it was a crowd because she supported what I did. And it's that kind of support, because you don't need but one person besides yourself to believe in you. You can do anything. So my mom played such a major part and still does. Here's the thing. My mother's never died for me. She has transcended. So my mother transcended 17 years ago, and I haven't shed a tear. I didn't, because me and my mother, we loved each other. I would go back and forth to Chicago because she loved to go to the boat, play with the casino on the boat. I'd come to Chicago, bring her some money so she can get on that boat, you know? And she didn't even care about winning. She just wanted to play the slots and go to the buffet, you know? And she loved Dunkin' Donut coffee. I know I could go get that for her. And so in her latter days, I would just come and talk to my mother, just to sit with her. And you know, she was 79, so she would watch Westerns as loud as the hell you could. I mean, that TV would be so loud, and I would sit there, ears bleeding, with my mama and watch Rawhide, The Real McCoy, Bonanza, The Rifleman, you know, and it gave me a connectedness to her. But her effect on me and my family, my entire family, me and my 4 big brothers and all of us, was everything, because she believed in us and she instilled in us the idea to believe in ourselves, you know. So I was very blessed to have parents that care until the end. So like, I never cried when she died because she still informs my every decision. She haven't left me for a moment. There's certain things I cook because that's how my mama would have did. There's certain things I ain't gonna do because Mary Lena Smith would not have that, man. You know, and so so she's a very, very big influence. And I don't curse my addiction. I think that everything that ever happened to us brought us to where we are now.
Of course.
I needed to understand that level of addiction to be able to talk to people about addiction like I do now. They let me speak at the Cocaine Anonymous meeting like 2 months ago, and Dad never let me speak there because I hadn't got my 10 years. And you have to have 10 years of sobriety to speak in Cocaine Anonymous. Now, I don't know what they do at Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, but Cocaine Anonymous, you can have 9 years and 9 months, but if you ain't got 10 years, don't open your mouth. You don't get to talk to other people about what it is we've been through, because we ain't sure you serious. You know what I'm saying? So I got to speak like 2 months, maybe 3 months ago, and it was everything to be able to pour back into the brothers. The room, just like me, I have room full of addicts.
But that's amazing, because you have graced all sorts of platforms. You have shared the stage with many other legendary comedians through the years, and to be on a platform with Cocaine Anonymous, it's a sign of humility, but it's a sign of greatness, because of all the places you've been, you're still willing to go back to dark places like that.
Oh,
and I think that's awesome. Some of the people, I name a few, like Steve Harvey and a couple comedians that you have shared the stage with. How many you can say you have?
How many comedians have I? Major comedians have I shared stage with?
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, anyone who's doing this. I worked with everybody from Eddie Murphy. I mean, Eddie actually put me in a film. I haven't done a stage comedy show with him, but I would love. That would be my dream. Actually, my dream would be to coach Eddie Murphy into coming back to do his major 1-hour concert and just shut it all down in the world of comedy, because he's accomplished all of it. The film, the television, even music. He went in the studio and, you know, I mean, he does, and to this day, he's just smooth as silk. But Eddie is great. I mean, I get to be with Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney was a great comedian. Dick Gregory was my great friend, you know. I've been very blessed to work with all of the best, you know, and like all humans, we all have flaws, man. You know, some of us don't show them and are very good at hiding them, but we all fall short of the Lord. So we ain't perfect, man. We just humans, man. We put one foot in front of the next and trying to figure it out. If we could do it with as little damage as possible, then we've done what we're supposed to do here. If we could lead somebody, show somebody the way. I write my books because I really want to tell a little story, a little message along the way, you know. My first one was on Barack Obama, the greatest president in my lifetime for me. Now y'all can hold on to that book, y'all can right now. But this dude here, so my first book was called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the White House. I knocked on the door and a brother answered. And so it really just illustrated how wonderful Barack Obama was, even though he had all these negative things, Rush Limbaugh saying, I want him to fail. That's the first time in the history of this country that someone in a position as high as Rush Limbaugh came on a public source and said, I want the president to fail. We still was a democratic thinking people then. You know, now we've never been a democracy. This is not democracy. It's a republic. But we had democratic thought about which, and when I say democracy, we're talking about everybody's vote count. Everybody pulls together for the people. We still had that back then, and here was Rush Limbaugh saying, I want him to fail. You had Trump even back then. You had Trump talking about he's from somewhere else, but this man did his business against all the odds. He did the best he could and always did it with dignity and character and style. He made America look good. He made black people look good, you know? And so I wrote this book just so people will not forget that we had a guy who cared about the planet and cared about the country and cared about people. And it really, I'm bringing these back out. I wasn't even selling these. But now he's coming back out talking. Barack is talking some on what's going on with politics. Oh, I'm about to sell another 14,000. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is I want to always tell the story of success being your very own once you connect with the Lord. Once you connect with God, 1 plus God is a majority. That's why my favorite book from the Bible is David and Goliath. My favorite story is David and Goliath, because David, you know, was just a teenager. He was a kid, you know, and he's gonna take out Goliath with a smooth stone from the river. But Goliath was a nasty, low down mother. Anyway, he was terrible. Had bad breath. His teeth were broke. Everything. And he didn't just come and tear things up. He wanted to rape and pillage. He was coming to destroy things. And David faced off with him, and it was like, it's not about what I have. It's not about who I am, but do you see who I'm with? One with the Lord, one with God is a majority and can stand against anything or for anything. And I try in all my messages to remind people of the greatness of God. No matter how many jokes I tell or how many stories I tell, my story always comes back to God.
Let's talk about the secret sauce, the real secret sauce.
Okay.
How many days you been married?
629 today, brother. You better come on. And she's so perfect. And we both been married twice. So we already got the practice out the way. You know, we got married, got divorced, and had time to find each other. And part of the miracle of our story, and her name is Sonia Powers Colyah. And one of the things, and it's funny.
Say that again. Say that name.
Sonia Powers Colyah.
Yes.
And I can't even talk about her without my voice getting soft.
I see.
I mean, I don't do that.
I see how it's rolling off your tongue.
I don't do that on purpose. It's just, I have a reverence for her like I've never known with anyone.
I love her too
believe
so
in her.
much. She's a great woman.
She's a great, great woman. Her parents are proud of her.
Yeah.
She's a great person. Her family is proud of her because she's just a great person. She comes from her heart and she means it. And I learned with her, that in relationships, you either have a teammate or an opponent.
Yeah.
Okay? And she's a straight up teammate. And the thing is, we ain't no spring chickens. She just turned 55, I'm 68. And both of us sort of thought the perfect one for us, if they was coming, they had come and gone.
Yes.
We didn't believe that we'd find that person. In fact, I think both of us probably pretty much stopped looking and just went on about living. In fact, when I found my wife, I didn't find her till I stopped looking. I had just come out of a brutal relationship. I was in it for 9 years. It really got brutal because the woman turned vegan. And she was a brutal vegan. If I tried to eat chicken, she'd be like, "Oh, I see we're having caucus tonight," you know. But it was such a rough relationship that when I got out, I said, I'm not getting in any more relationships.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be doing the stinky leg, but I'm not getting in no more relationships unless the perfect person
come into your life.
And this woman showed up. And God allowed me to see all the other stuff first before he showed me the real goddess, the queen. This one is here for me that loves me like I love her.
Yes.
You know, what a blessing, what a gift that is.
Now, I'm not going to toot my horn, but I was at the wedding.
Well, hold up. He was at the wedding.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
I was at the wedding.
He is the one who married us.
Oh, okay.
You are the one. And what a wonderful ceremony you put on. And anyone, if you got cable, please go to YouTube and pull up Michael Colyah's wedding. It is 59 minutes of excellence. And this young man, woo, you did the doggone thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a wonderful, wonderful expression of love. My wife and I enjoyed it. And I'm forever grateful for the opportunity to come to Los Angeles and have fun and to see love making. And I'm so thankful for you and your wife. And I pray that God will continue to cover you and bless you all these days of your life. Listen, you're still in comedy. You're still working the stages. What can we expect from Michael Colyah?
I have so much stuff, man. I can't keep it with myself. The abundance is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I have a sitcom out right now.
Yeah.
Now, you've heard the term blessed and highly favored?
Yes.
So my new sitcom is called Highly Favored, which tickles me that I'm the pastor.
Yeah.
They made the heathen the pastor.
Right.
So I'm the pastor. My deacon is Rodney Perry. My wife is Kiki Shepherd. Melanie Camacho is one of the church mothers. And it's on a network called Impact, which is a faith-based network. And so we've done 6 episodes. And when you watch it, you're going to be reminded of Amen with Sherman Hemsley.
Yeah.
It's shot like that, like old school NBC type comedy. So we did 6 episodes, and a person can get to it quickly on their search engine. And on any search engine, if you put in Watch Impact, IMPACT, watchimpact.com with no spaces, it'll pop right up and you can see all 6 episodes. So we did a new sitcom. They're trying to figure out if they're gonna go back and do more of those. Yeah. Like I said, I've just written my 5th book, which is called Little Bobby White, about a kid who always wins, and the artwork is just tremendous. The brother who did the artwork for this, his name is DeMar Douglas. DeMar Douglas did a very famous painting of Kaepernick, and you may have seen it. Kaepernick has an afro, but the afro is actually a fist. So his hair is cut like, it looks like a big fist. This is the artist that did this, DeMar Douglas, who is just brilliant. One of my favorite pieces of his is he drew a little boy being hung, being lynched, but the rope is an American flag. Oh, it's cold-blooded. Look up DeMar Douglas. So he did the artwork, and the story, like I said, it's about a kid he's just gonna do right. If you just keep doing good, then good is what comes to you. Karma is real. Everything is a circle of life. So whatever you're putting out is what you're getting in. It's like an empty box. You can only get out of it what you put into it. So if you're just giving love, peace, joy, positivity everywhere you go, that's what the universe is going to rain upon you. So that's why I say I can't even do all the stuff I'm doing. I just read the 5th book. The 6th one, The book I'm about to drop is an audio book that is erotica. It's audio erotica. It's 14 poems. It's called In the Wet Spot, Blue Erotica by MC Butternuts. Okay, so on one hand, I have an erotic poetry book. On the other hand, I have a children's book that teaches. Plus, we just in the middle of shooting a new film right now. I have 2 films already in the can that are on their way. It's just like, and every weekend I'm somewhere doing 5 to 6 shows of comedy in some clubs. So I'm actually actualizing my dreams in every way. I'm creating a new sitcom where I'm the dad in the sitcom. It's just flowing like crazy. Because I got all the ugliness is out of the way. The blockages are gone. I have a real queen who stands with me and by me, and sometimes when it's good, stands on me. No, that's a different story. No, I'm just joking. Now I was thinking about I went and got a massage once, and the Japanese lady said, "Okay, now I walk on your back." I said, "Don't you walk?" I ain't gonna say the word. I said, "You better not walk on my back." You know. Anyway, I have a queen who's gonna skip through life with me for the rest of our lives with adventures. We're adventurers, you know. So we go places, we eat the food, man. Get in the water if you can't swim, splash your feet around. But you gotta live this life and take a bite out of it. When you talk about eternity, time is very short for humans. If you're talking about eternity, you get 77 years and you good, 80 years old, you rolling. So that's really just a blink of the eye. The thing is, how do you feel that time? How do you feel that time?
So with that being said, let me ask you this question. I know I had you on a panel discussion. It was me, Governor Westmore, based on return to citizens and actually showing them and having a conversation about them regaining their constitutional rights. And it was from the state and the federal. And could you talk a little bit on, the things that you do for returning citizens?
Now, people, I don't think will really understand what you mean when you say that, but you're talking about fighting recidivism, you're talking about people who've gone to prison, who've been incarcerated, but who's come out, and how do we keep them out? As well as how do we keep them from going in the first place? It starts with the literature too. It starts with talking to people. It starts with communication. You know, one thing in my community we don't do what we used to do all the time is we used to speak to each other. When I grew up, you better not walk past an elder and not speak. Man, your mama get that, that little piece of meat right under your arm, that tender part, she squeezed that with 2 fingers and you just get that one tear roll down your face like Denzel Washington from the movie Glory. No, we had to speak. We had to say yes, sir, and no, sir to adults. We had to say, no, ma'am. We had to do those things. If we get back to just start simple, just speak to each other. When you see your brother, how you doing today, King? Every person I pass, I try to speak to them. How are you doing? If I can find a compliment on you, I'm giving it to you. Man, them shoes off the chain. Just
by the way, they all.
They crazy. They bananas. They off the chain. But
and we got a thing called the drip cam.
The drip cam.
And
we're gonna get something because we know you like that drip too.
Man, I didn't really dress for a photo opportunity, but okay. And if we can just start, so it starts with communication. Everything's about communications and relationships. What is your relationship to a person, and how you talk to that person determines your altitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. How high you raise is how you talk to a person, how you communicate with a person. If you want to get something from someone, you want to speak to them. So I say we get the community back together by speaking to each other, but secondly, reminding each other that we have value.
That's why I'm derived because Paul has spent some time incarcerated, and is able to come back out and thank for our mayor.
Thank you. And you did 23 years?
23 years. I had 2 life sentences at first.
Wow. And I put him on the phone with Mr. Banky Pounds, who did 33 years. And both of these gentlemen have in common that now they're coming back to heal society, to heal the community, because you can come back with a bad attitude.
Yes, you can.
And that's where recidivism comes in. And that's a big word.
Anger.
And that's what part of the conversation is, being able to come back, have a comeback story, and be able to pour back into the community, because that's what we really mean when we talk about drip. you experience strength and hope, being around some dirt, coming out of it,
Exactly.
and now going back and doing what you
and
got.
that's why I want us to be clear in our communication with the people listening. What recidivism is, because a big word. Most people know what that is. It sounds like something you get on your foot. I had a big old recidivism on my ankle, and I had to put some salve. But that's going back into prison, coming in, going out, going in. We have to break that cycle. It's a cycle of ours because the Europeans already put us in there. So the majority of people who are locked up are people of color, not because we did the majority of the crimes, but we had the least amount of money to be able to fight when we had to go and face it. We can afford the type attorneys so we can get it. I wish we had OJ's team. When we got in trouble, we going back home that night. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have that. So you get caught up and it's easy to get tricked. Well, you'll get 20 years unless you confess. Then you just do 8, whether you did it or not. Shit, I'm going to take 8 instead of taking a chance. So, but recidivism is where we remind people of their worth and their value, and that you don't have to go back there. There's a full world out here for you, and you can adjust to it and not go back in. But we do that once again through communications and relationships. We talk to people like Banky Pounds is coming on my show Monday to talk. He used to come on every week and talk to other people. We bring on other people who've been in prison, and they talk about how they don't go back, how they help the community, how they teach.
You need to bring Paul on that show.
Paul coming.
Yes,
Paul coming. Quick Fat Her. You should come on this Monday with Banky Pounds, and let's chop it up.
Yes.
Okay, that's a done deal, sir. We do that, and this is.
And y'all pay me later for that.
Later, yes, because you put this together. It couldn't happen without you, sir. You better get your percentage. And this is how it works. It's just like this. It starts with communication, with wanting to help the community, reaching out. Relationships. Everything, relationships and communication. I saw you help a young man just now who's working for you. You showed me a couple of guys that worked for you when we was driving over here. So you could have came out and been mad, man. 23 years, man. You could be pretty pissed off, but instead you're coming out and being creative and being productive. And we have to show other people there's room for them. But our society teaches us that we don't have a lot of value. We don't have worth. We ain't gonna never be nothing. You know, we have to speak the opposite. We have to speak life into people.
Now catch this drip. Catch this drip. This is a real drip. Paul is Muslim.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
I'm Christian.
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Y'all can do all that late. No.
Then them Christians. Then them Christians. Wait. I gotta tell this joke. I gotta tell this joke right here. This is the perfect place for this joke. So a guy dies and he goes to heaven, wherever he goes to heaven, and the guy who takes you around, the guide comes over. So he say, look, those are the Christians. Shh. Okay. Those over there, those are the Muslims. Shh. Over there, those are the Hindus. Shh. He said, well, why you keep whispering? He said, because they all think they're the only ones here. All right, go ahead. So you'll say it.
So oftentimes in religion, a religious person think that they can't collaborate, partnership, synergize with outside of their religion. Right. And what Paul and I are doing is breaking the cycle, because you never know who had the piece to your puzzle. And so we are teaching that we can embrace and don't have to endorse. In other words, if there is a block that needs to be fed, it doesn't matter what religion you are. Feed the block. And so we come together to embrace the community, push the community, and let people know that your blessing may be in the hand of a person who don't even believe the way you believe. Exactly. But I'm still trying to get them saved.
Yeah. And he's still trying to get them saved.
And he's trying to convert me.
So
we're working together. Y'all gonna work it out.
Yeah, we're gonna work it out. And so that's the beauty of synergy. Well,
here's the thing I believe. Love has to be above all of it.
That's right.
That's who God is.
That's right.
That is God's identity. That if you're talking about God, you're talking about love. If you're talking about love, you're talking about God. For me, I don't think God cares what y'all call him. Y'all call him whatever y'all want to call him.
Only one God.
As long as you call him. And the way you call him is how you treat people. How do you love people? Do you lift people up? Do you heal people? When you're doing that, you're doing God's work.
Yeah, love is the law.
Yes, every loving thought is real. Everything else is an appeal to healing.
Yeah.
So everything you do that has anything to do with love is correct. Everything else is a way of saying, can you pull this barnacle out my buttock? Okay.
Yes.
So we want to always lean towards healing, lean towards love, leave judgment to God, because it's only His anyway. You could think you have it, but you ain't got it. And if we just communicate love, communicate joy, communicate what your greatness is that you haven't had a chance to scratch the surface of because you may have slept over it. You may not have known that you have all this power because no one's coming up and telling you that. Instead, they're playing like, oh, I'm frightened because this is what society teaches. Okay, here come the black man. He up to something. Here come a trick. Oh, why are you speaking to me? You know? And I get that from a lot of people. They look at me crazy. That's why I carry the chicken.
Oh, okay.
No, this chicken breaks the ice. It's people who don't talk to no black people. And I'll do this. And they'll look over, and first they don't know what's on, and then they'll look again, and they'll smile a little. Why is this fly brother walking around with a damn rubber chicken? You got to wrap your head around that first of all. We was at Cracker Barrel, and it took me a long time to even go to a restaurant called Cracker Barrel, because I told you I'm from the projects in Chicago where I come from. We ain't got no crackers. And a barrel full of crackers. That's a whole lot of crackers. So I wasn't going to no Cracker Barrel. But when I went, I love Cracker Barrel. It's like my favorite breakfast spot. But it's usually a lot of old white folks with overalls and stuff. And this old overall white dude was sitting like, I don't know, maybe as far back as that table. We was over here. And I squoze the chicken. He whipped around, looked like, who did that, and I looked at him and I said, and I sat it back down, and he turned around. And throughout our meal, we played with the chicken. We would look at him, we see him hunching, because he was laughing, but his back was to us. We could tell. And so we finished our meal. He finished his meal. He got up and walked over to us, and he said, that chicken made my whole day. And he left, and you don't know the transformative power of laughter, of love, of light. This thing costs $4.26, and every day I'm making people laugh all over the whatever city I'm in. We're just squeezing the chicken.
You're going to have to get you a personal chicken made. That's a business right there.
Oh, yeah. That's in the works. That's already in the works, because I'm already selling them. Look, I was in one in Atlanta, and I always take chicken on stage with me and play with it in the microphone. And some guy in the back said, I'll give you $20 for that chicken. I said, bring the money. So he stood up, his woman said, baby, give him 30. He said, baby, I'm going to give him 40. And the audience, they're like, oh, because they watching. And he way in the back. He slowly walks up to the stage. He gave me the 40. I gave him the chicken. As he walked back, I leaned to the microphone. I said, I paid $4.26 for that chicken. People fell out laughing. And so it's like, if we can carry humor, if we can carry light, if we can carry joy everywhere we go, it's not about the religion, it's not about the group, because there's people who never heard of either one of your gods. There are people in places who never heard of any of that. Does that mean they burn and eat forever because they don't know? No, the knowingness is within your spirit and your heart. The connectedness is with God. And that level of depth doesn't have wording. There is no way you can write what that is, because it's an internal job. Love is connected with spirit. You can go anywhere. You can unfold space, man, as long as you believe and have faith and keep God first, however you identify Him. Like in the programs, whether it's CA, AA, even AAA, they all say you have to choose you have to have a God of your choosing. They don't tell you who you have to call God, but you got to have a God in your life to succeed. You have to understand that there was an entity that created everything from nothingness, and it did it in the name of love. And that entity loves you individually and wants you to have everything. Once you think like that, you're on your way.
This might get you in a little bit of trouble, but I want you to answer this now.
All right.
Who is your best comedian?
Oh, my favorite?
Yes.
Michael Colyah.
Okay.
Michael Colyah tickles me.
Okay. So
he makes me laugh all the time.
Outside of you.
There you go.
Outside of That's a different question. I love.
No, hold on first. We want one back in the days, and we want one as of up today.
I'm loving Mike Epps.
Oh, okay.
And not just because I just spoke to him on the phone.
I'm gonna let Mike Epps know that.
Mike Epps, Dave Chappelle. I like whatever Dave brings to the table. I love Cat Williams. I think Cat Williams is so smart.
Yes.
And his little characters he uses are so funny. So I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of his. I like Marsha Warfield.
Yes.
You know Marsha Warfield?
No.
She 1,000 years ago, she used to be on a show called Night Court. She was the bailiff, the female bailiff.
Okay.
But she's a stand-up comedian that's ice cold, and she's out of Vegas.
And I was just going to ask you, you going to get a woman their flowers, but you went there.
Oh no, she's really, of course, Wanda Sykes is stupid funny, just crazy funny. But there's so many great ones. And on my morning show, the Michael Colyah morning show on YouTube, on the morning show, we have one comedian every show, and we've done 1,026 shows. So I put on so many young comedians all around the country that people don't even know about that are just crazy funny.
Right.
I mean, bananas. It's a lot of people. It's hard to narrow that down. Now, if you're talking about the old time, I come up on 4. So Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and Lenny Bruce. Now, y'all know Lenny Bruce? Lenny Bruce was a Jew. This Jew is the reason that Richard Pryor could exist. Because this guy spent all his money fighting in court for us to have a right to say what we want on stage. Because in the 60s, you couldn't curse on stage, right? And so in the 50s and the 60s, and this Jewish kid was amazing. Lenny Bruce, he had a thing called, he would say, this might look like a normal chair to you, but do you know how many asses sat on this stool, right? And he did a thing, he'd come out on stage and say, are there any Mexicans in the room? Any Mexicans? We ain't got no bus boys or nothing. Oh, there you go. Okay, I see one Mexican. Okay, I see a Mexican. Any Jews? Okay, I see a Mexican, a Mexican, a Jew, two Jews, a Mexican, and a nigga. 3 niggas, Jew and Mexican. He started sounding like he was doing an auction. And he said, the reason I do that is because if you say nigga all the time, then you're not gonna break some little black girl's heart because she's on the way to school and somebody called her nigga. I mean, he was a genius. He was brilliant. And a heroin addict. He died of an overdose. He was a heroin addict, but he died broke. Because he would keep cursing to give us the right. The police would fill, in New York, they would fill his room. It'd be 30 police in uniforms like this, waiting for him to curse so they could arrest him. He would do the whole show without cussing and then say F you and good night. And they'd arrest him and take him off. So Lenny Bruce is the reason that we could have a Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor is the one who tells the authentic story, but he couldn't tell his authentic story. You can't talk about being raised by prostitutes and stuff if you can't cuss. So because of the Lenny, he was able to be him. Red Fox is the wordsmith, the one who can craft the joke. He could take one sentence and turn it into a whole story. Oh, John, let's not park here. Oh, John, let's not park. Oh, John, let's not. Oh, John, let's. Oh, John. Oh. I mean, he was a genius. He could craft stories, and of course, Eddie is everything. Eddie is everything. Eddie knows how to sing, dance, act, do comedy. It's personable. So those were the 4 that I based my stuff on when I got started. So if I had to pick my greatest, it's up in there. And then, of course, my great friend, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac was like a recoming of all the greats. He had all the juice. I hate that he died so young. He couldn't be about 50, 52 or something like that. But he was brilliant, and he was my friend for real. He's the reason I got on Def Jam. I didn't know Def Jam was coming, and he told them, you crazy if you don't put this dude on. I was out on Venice Beach passing my hat trying to get some coins, and I get the call to come because of Bernie. Bernie was a stand-up guy. He ain't stabbing nobody in the back. He wasn't out in the clubs and partying with us. When the show was over, he was going back to the hotel, get him some red beans and rice, lay in the bed on the phone and talk to his wife. Bernie Mac was a black man. And see, black men are rare. Niggas?
Yes.
Niggas everywhere. You can open the glove compartment of your car and 4 niggas will fall out. But black men who have integrity for their community, for their family, for their God, are rare indeed. And that's what Bernie Mac was, a black man.
So if you had a chance to
I told you I was going to go fast talking to us.
You good.
Your little hour will be out of here.
Yeah, we're going to still go a little bit. We got a couple more minutes. So
all right.
If you had opportunities to tell a young man or a young woman something positive that was going through something, and we go through a lot. We suffer with peer pressure and things of that nature from our upbringing. We suffer from trauma, things of that nature. What would be something positive that you could, tell?
I push everybody towards God these days. Okay. So if I could tell them something positive, I would say keep God first. Because if you keep God first, all the other stuff that takes you down doesn't get a chance to come into your life. I mean, I used to say, don't do crack. That would that would be my thing. Or then I would soften that and say, don't do drugs. But even softer, keep God first. Because if you're keeping God first, you automatically don't want to do things that don't fall within the realm of just being a good person. You know, you don't want to do things that harm your body. You don't want to do things that harm your community or your friends, because you're keeping God first. And if God is not the answer, for real, you're asking the wrong question. God is the answer to all of it, no matter what you want. And you can have anything. You can walk on water and fly through air if you have strong enough faith. So if I had to tell a kid something, I'd say, believe in God and believe in yourself, because God created you. If God created you, he ain't create no junk. He took his time. So he gave you all the elements you need to do whatever you want to do and be whoever you want to be. That's what I would say to my
Yeah.
Well,
and you know we only scratched the surface. There's so much more stuff we could talk about. Y'all got a real one in here today. And I brought the chicken. Don't worry. So let me just wrap up my stuff. I do a morning show 5 days a week, and I encourage your viewers to watch it. It's called the Michael Colyah Morning Show. It's on YouTube. 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 Central Time, and 10 Eastern Time. Please check it out. It's every Monday. Every show we have comedy. Every show we have music, and every show we pray. And we designed this show where you can start your morning with laughter and prayer, because I believe if you start your day with laughter and prayer, you build a force field of positivity around you that no BS can penetrate. So please check that out. Follow me on everything, Instagram, YouTube. Y'all gonna be tired of me. I got a new 1-hour special coming out called The King of Venice Beach. And y'all, it's just crazy. It's fabulous and blessed. Life is a blessing, and every breath you take is a gift, and we should walk with an attitude of gratitude every single solitary day.
Thank you, man, for your drip and your conversation.
Man, thank y'all for because I love to talk about me. So anytime y'all want to get me in a room and cut up some lights and talk about Michael Colyah, okay, I'm sorry.
Well, you're good.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
And with that being said, we definitely gonna get you and who else on this show together.
Oh, yeah.
Who else? Who you just talked to?
Oh, Michael?
Yes, Michael Epps. We're going to need both of y'all on it.
Oh, that would be great. If we was both on the show together, it would be crazy.
Okay.
Between our ab lips together off the top of our heads, oh, it would be bananas, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, you better make sure all the cameras on for that one.
Okay.
That's going to be a special.
And we're going to bring out popcorn.
And we all go to the same barber.
Oh, you... Yes.
Yeah, so God bless y'all. And
same barber, yes.
Letting me be here.
Hey, listen, thank you. We out of time, but we never out of conversation. Thank you for tuning in. Dripping Conversation. Michael Colyah, ladies and gentlemen. Until we meet again.
Peace.